Can we have a call to order and a salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the Board Secretary has caused notice of this meeting, including date, time, and location, to be posted in the South Brunswick Public Library and at the Board Office, filed with the Township Clerk, and communicated to the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger. Mr. Plowski, can we have a roll call, please?
Deepa Karthik. Here. Mr. Raja Krishna. Here. Mr. Ray Keener. Here. Mr. Mike Mitchell. Dr. Smitha Raj. Here. Mrs. Lisa Rogers. Mr. Joseph Scaletti. Mr. Barry Nathanson. Here. Mrs. Joyce Mehta.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We need to make a change to tonight's agenda, and that's to change the purpose of the executive session, to change it from the CSA evaluation to personnel matters. Can I have a motion, please? Mrs. Karthik, and seconded by Dr. Raj. Any discussions? Any nays? Any abstentions? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Township of South Brunswick, Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Township of South Brunswick hereby moves into executive session in accordance with the Sunshine Laws, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, NJSA 1046 through to 10421, to discuss the following personnel matters. Be it resolved that the discussions conducted in executive sessions can be disclosed to the public at such time as the matters have been resolved. Formal action may be taken at any meeting. I need a motion to move into executive, please.
So moved.
Mrs. Karthik, seconded by Mr. Nathanson. Any nays? Any abstentions? Discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Good evening, South Brunswick. Please, can I have a motion to move back into regular session from executive? Thank you, Mrs. Karthik, seconded by Raja Krishna. Any nays, abstentions, discussion? Motion carries. Please, can we have a moment of silence for Dean Battaglia? Thank you. Thank you. We'll just wait a moment or two for everybody to be seated, and then we'll carry on with the agenda. Motion, please. Yes, yes. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda, please?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Nathanson, seconded by Mrs. Karthik. Any nays, abstentions, discussion? Motion carries.
Move.
Yes.
Before you go on.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
So as you all know, last week was a rough week in South Brunswick. We lost a member of our South Brunswick family, Mr. Dean Battaglia, who was a maintenance worker, but he's more known this last year as a bus driver. As you know, a lot of our maintenance folks drive buses, and to say that Dean fell, actually Mr. Dean to the students, fell in love with this part of his job would be an understatement. So I'm going to share a little bit about Dean. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. So Dean was a member of Buildings and Grounds since 2014, where he started as a substitute custodian. Then he moved to grounds and maintenance. He would drive a bus, taking students to various sporting events. And before the teams would get off the bus, he would always give them one of his famous pep talks. I actually heard from one of the coaches. And one of the coaches shared with me that he's one of those drivers that gets out, watches the game, engages with the kids, and just, he was the bus driver you wanted, right, to drive your kids to those games. So, so this past year, he drove regular bus routes, one in the morning and one at the end of the day for Brooks Crossing, the little guys. And he was considered the cool bus driver and known as Mr. Dean. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dean. So when we talk about, this is a job, his job was to keep the grounds of the district looking good, right? That's his job. But because of the issue with drivers this year and the shortage of drivers and the challenges of transportation, he's one of the drivers that stepped up and drives a bus and does it every day. Same thing, same route in the morning, 25 kids-ish in the morning, 25 different kids in the afternoon from Brooks Crossing. So that same week, what he did is he told the kids, listen, you got to come to school next Monday. I have gifts for you. A bus driver who doesn't drive a bus regularly did this. He didn't stop at the gifts. He then asked each kid what their favorite donut was so that he could have prepared this week each kid's individual donut. So a donut, then the gifts were going to be engraved or were engraved with each child's name. That's who this guy is. When he came in today, you might have seen a little bit of a memorial in the front. And that's just put on by his friends, his family. He leaves behind two stepdaughters that were soon to be stepdaughters that go to high school, our high school. So some of you guys might know these girls. A fiance, and then a son and a daughter from Pennsylvania. So as Ms. Mehta said, we had a moment of silence, and that doesn't begin to touch it, does it? So remember, every day counts, every minute counts, and this is a reminder. So that's who Dean was, and he'll be missed. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Feder. Thank you. Moving on to the tonight's agenda, and we're now going to hear the report of the student representative.
Corey, before you go, can I just say a couple more words in a talkative mood today?
Go ahead, if you insist.
So before we start with Tori, I'm going to share a little bit. This is Victoria's last night with us. She is the board rep. And do you know that right now, the state of New Jersey has passed a law that every school district must have a student rep if they have a high school. So you're legally our student rep right now. We were way ahead of that curve, of course. We've had one forever. And so Tori's been our person. But as Tori moves on, I'd like to just share that in addition to Tori's role as student rep and on student council, Tori was involved in many other activities. She was the head manager for the football team, member of the girls' spring track team, founding member of DECA, where she holds an executive member position, and she was a High Tops member. Outside of school, she is a part-time model and also a supervisor of Lifetime Cafe. After graduation, Tori will be attending Temple. Congratulations, Tori.
Thank you.
For marketing and psychology, and we all wish her the best of luck there. In the speaker. So this is an engraved pen we give to all of our reps. Congratulations on this. Congratulations on graduations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on Temple. And you'll introduce our new person for us?
I will be introducing
I will hold that
her.
information. Victoria Gunn, everybody.
Thank you so much. So I find it crazy to believe that it's already been a year that I've been your Board of Education representative. I have been here, and I'm now passing on the torch to our new Board of Ed, Ms. Ria Krishna. And I would like to take a few moments to thank you all and each and every one of you on this board for giving me this opportunity to serve our community. I've been here and I've learned how to be a leader, and I'm very grateful for this. Watching you all sit at this table and discuss on how to make our district a better place was a true pleasure to witness. I'm very thankful to be here, and I'll be now passing on our torch to our next Board of Ed representative, Ms. Ria Krishna. And I heard that you will be introducing the brief statement, or should I?
You can go ahead.
I have, okay. Just pull it up. Okay. So Ms. Ria Krishna, she will be taking over the role of the Board of Education representative next year. She's a member of Class 2024. She has previously served as Class of 24 Vice President and also an Executive Board member of the Asian Cultural Club. She plays at the Mr. SBHS girls tennis team and is also a member of Student Senate. In her free time, she enjoys volunteering at Temple weekends and is excited to serve as Student Council Board representative of 2022 to 2023 school year. I know she'll do an amazing job, and now she'll give her first student report. Can we give a round of applause, please?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for that. My name is Ria Krishnan. I would like to begin by talking about the girls' spring track and field. Melanie LaCourte was the lone Viking girl to compete at the Meet of Champions last Saturday. She earned a medal with her 8th place finish in the high jump. She finished 3rd at the Group 4 State Championships the week before with a season best of 5 feet 4 inches. Moving on to boys' spring track, this past weekend, the boys' track team finished their season by medaling 5 guys at the Meet of Champions. Sahil Sheth finished 4th in the 3,200 meters. Jacob Brokaw finished 5th in the long jump. Braden Paulman finished 5th in the javelin, while Nicholas Wisbeski finished 6th, and Yatheen Vemula finished 8th in the high jump. The boys' team finished their season ranked 5th in the state by NJ.com. The previous week saw the boys' team finish 2nd at the NJSIAA State Group 4 Championships. We scored 37.5 points, with 6 athletes scoring over 5 events. Yatheen Vemula finished 2nd in the high jump, while Demarion Potts finished tied for 5th. Jacob Brokaw finished 3rd in the long jump and the triple jump. Sahil Sheth finished 3rd in the 3,200 meters, and Nicholas Wisbeski finished 3rd in the javelin, while Braden Paulman finished 4th. Along with the 6 scoring athletes, Brian Rawls also qualified for the Meet of Champions as a wild card in the high jump. I would also like to take a moment to congratulate Elaine McGrath. Elaine McGrath retired after 24 years of service as the athletic director in South Brunswick School District. Elaine's tenure included NJSIAA Athletic Director of the Year, Greater Middlesex Conference Athletic Director of the Year, NJAIA Outstanding Woman of the Year, DAANJ Sectional Award of Merit Recipient, 136 division titles, 110 GMC championships, 39 sectional titles, 14 group titles, and a Tournament of Championships title. Elaine's legacy stretches far beyond her work as athletic administrator. She was an influential member of our school's district who contributed so much outside of athletics. She has always been a great advocate for all students, an amazing mentor, colleague, and friend to so many in the South Brunswick School District. Her impact on those she encountered and the work that she did will forever be missed. Thank you, Ms. McGrath. Additionally, sports forms for fall tryouts are being accepted now and are due no later than July 15th. And to finish it all off, graduation will be held at the Cure Insurance Arena on Friday, June 24th at 10 a.m. The arena encourages families to carpool if possible. All attendees must have a ticket to enter. Huge congratulations to the class of 2022. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And welcome to our board. Moving on to the report of the Superintendent of Schools, over to you, Mr. Feder.
Thank you. Welcome, Ria. Good job. First one's down. Smooth sailing from here. We have another meeting next week. All right, so as you see in the audience today, we have these guys over here. You guys are not retiring. Those guys over there are retirees, supported by their friends and family, and administrators. That's happening for you guys soon, so you gotta wait for me to finish first before you get to actually retire, so hold. Although I see some of you have already gone. You've already left us, and you're back, yeah. So, now this is news for you, well, and for you. Last day's Friday. That's an applause thing, guys. Yes, thank you. So we have graduation at 10 o'clock at the Cure Center in Trenton. It's a great event. High school does an amazing job. We have move-ups in the 8th grade. We have end of the years with the 5th graders. It's a happy time right now. It's good stuff. We've had some good weather. So a lot of good stuff happening, and we all are ready for a little bit of a downtime after this. So we'll get there. Just remember, 22, 23 school start times. We sent that home. It's a little bit of changes. We have some changes in each of the levels. And again, we've shared all that to presentations. The presentations are online if you want to see those, but that's all for next year. Also, for the board tonight, you're being asked to adopt the final school calendar. So again, it's revised and all easy for people to see what's going on with all that. And I'm not going to really do too much talking today, just so you know how the summer's working for us. The summer, we're going on summer hours starting next week, and that includes the district being closed on Fridays. So the district will work from Monday to Thursdays, and not on Fridays this year. We're going to give that a try and see how that goes. But to our community, to our students, to our retirees, to everybody, have a wonderful and safe summer. And it's been another year. Has been a year.
Thank you.
And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pedder. Moving on to the recognitions, and for tonight's recognitions, and I'll pass it over to Dr. Disler.
Good evening, thank you. I'm super excited to be here tonight. I think this is one of my favorite nights of the year. Looking out and seeing faces that have already left and seeing you here tonight, and some of you that are counting down these last couple of days that Scott just mentioned. Welcome to our retiree program. Tonight, we are honoring 30 retirees this year. They all have or will be retiring by August 31st, and we are retiring folks from elementary, middle, high school, district employees, bus drivers, teachers, nurses, paras, custodians, secretaries, and some administrators too. We're happy that you're all here. And before we start, I just want to say a couple thank yous. First to my secretary, Elizabeth Williams, for all her hard work behind the scenes. You all receive a testimonial book, and all of the content comes from all of our administrators and colleagues and friends, but the getting it all together happens from Elizabeth, and I'm appreciative of all her efforts. I want to thank Rob Sears and Aldo Aranzula, I apologize, mouthful, for preparing for a concert tonight. All of the kids over here dressed awesomely. It's so exciting to have you here, and I thank you for your hard work, and so happy that we're back in person, and so in just a moment, a treat from you all. I'd like to thank Sue Jane and Crossroads Middle Schools, the ELA department, the teachers and students for a part of tonight's program that'll come in a little bit. I want to thank our district librarians. Part of our tradition is honoring our retirees with books that are dedicated to them. I want to honor and thank Jason Shizzle from Indian Fields and his students. The artwork that you see up there is on the testimonial booklet, and it's student artwork, and we really thought it was beautiful images of, could be some of your travels for retirements. We thought it was very apropos, so I thank him for that. And finally, I want to thank our admin team for their generous donation. You all receive a gift, and it comes from the love and support of the administrators in the district. So with those thank yous aside, I point out the agenda for our program tonight to honor you, and it starts, if you want to start getting yourselves up there, I'll introduce the concert choir. And tonight they're going to be performing a few songs for us. And it's special, just starting to get back to normal. And this group is probably our finest. And we're excited that Mr. Aranzulo is here tonight, and he's going to get them set up. There's a lot of you, isn't there? Love it. Love it. So we'll give them a moment, and then Aldo, when you're ready.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to quickly introduce you our three songs that we're going to be singing for you tonight. Our first piece is a piece from the Renaissance period, a motet called If You Love Me, that the choir loves, that we've been singing since the very beginning of the school year. We've been begging you to put it in our spring concert, and we did. So that'll be our first piece, and then we're going to try and travel 500 years into the future and sing a completely different song called When the Earth Stands Still, which is a very, very special piece to us because we've talked so much heavily about the meaning of this song and how it means to every single one of these choir members. And this song, I encourage you to just really listen to the text and to the lyrics. Because this whole piece is simply just about maybe you are a person that is seeking comfort through trials and tribulations, or maybe you are that person that is giving comfort to someone else who needs it. And then we'll end up with an arrangement of Alleluia.
Amen.
Yeah, thank you. Again, thank you to Mr. Aranzulo. Beautiful job. Our choirs are superior, and it's because of your talents. The kids did outstanding. Rob Sears, amazing. He's our supervisor for music, and it's really nice to have us back in person and be able to hear their beautiful voices. Thank you for all you do. Nice job. I was just amazed that the one person can give the note correctly and then they all can sing like that's right. I can't do that. Okay, so we're gonna continue now to the recognition part of the night, and you can see up there on the screen. It's not just an image. That's actually the gift that you all are receiving tonight. It's a wooden plaque that you can display at home, and it's just a little thank you from all of us. And in addition to that, this is the testimonial, and I'm gonna actually ask Victoria's gonna help me out a little bit, so she's gonna be my Vanna White getting gifts, so if you want to get ready over there. But including in your gift is the testimonial book that you all have. Your colleagues have taken the time to write about you and put some memories down in this book, so I hope that you enjoy that. In addition, as you come up, we've kind of started a tradition the past few years, and we really hope that all of our retirees tonight are going to be spending your days, hopefully you already are for those of you that are home, with fun and laughter with family and friends, and doing things that really fill your passion. We decided to help you out a bit. And so with each retiree tonight, we have some well wishes from your colleagues and friends that have us kind of filling your own retirement bucket. So we use the beginning statements of always, never, remember, and enjoy. And like I said, your colleagues have kind of finished those statements for you. So we'll share some of those well wishes tonight. They also live in your testimonial book, so you'll have them to take with you. So we're going to start kind of just for housekeeping. I have us kind of by rows and in order. And honestly, there's about a third of us here in person tonight. I know some folks are watching from home. And so we will definitely highlight all of our retirees, and anybody that's here tonight, you'll have your gift, and I'm going to ask our principals or designee or any admin that's here from that school that would like to come up when your folks are being called to the podium. So we're going to start. You guys are going to be good modelers. I have district staff right here. So Raph, I know you're going to come, and Jackie and Tracy, do you want to guys come up here and we'll get started? Okay. Okay, so we're actually starting with two retirees that aren't in attendance tonight. I want to start with Dr. Mary Beth Edmonds. She's worn many hats in our district in our tenure, and her last stop, her most recent, was the principal at Monmouth Junction School. She's been in the district since 1992, and just to highlight some of her well wishes, never forget how many lives you touched here at South Brunswick School District, and enjoy every moment of the next chapter of your life. So that's Dr. Mary Beth Edmonds. We're also honoring James Ferreira, and he's been in the district a long time, more than 30 years. And it was said in his testimonial that he would do anything for anyone. So I think that speaks volumes of James. To highlight, never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream, and remember what a positive difference you made. Congratulations to James. Okay, Miss Jackie Jenner. Jackie's a secretary in our district, and she's part of the Student Services Department and had her office at the board office. And we want to remind Jackie to never apologize for who you are. That's what makes you you. And enjoy all the special moments which create the memories that stay with you for a lifetime. Congratulations. Do you want to give them Okay, next up, Tracy Rico. She started as a basic skills teacher at Constable and then became our tech educator and has retired as a coach, technology coach. She started in 1995. And our well wishes for Tracy are never forget the little things. A good theme or food with a lot of accoutrements matter. Enjoy life to the fullest, whether it be at the beach, at concerts, with family, or with friends. You will be missed. Congratulations. Okay, I'm going to ask if our transportation honorees tonight can join me at the podium. And Dave, do you want to come help give the presents for our transportation folks? So let's see who we have. Yep, yeah, please come on up. Deborah's not here tonight. But we honor her. She joined the district in 2004, and Debbie worked with special needs students as a transportation para. We remind her to always enjoy the freedom and unlimited weekends, and never forget the children that you helped every day. Congratulations to Debbie. What's that? They're in order, so that one. Yep. So we have that for the one that's here tonight. So we're going to also honor Diane Smith. She couldn't be here tonight. She started in the district back in 2003, and she also worked with special needs students as a transportation paraprofessional. We remind her to never take any day for granted. Every day we get to live is perfect. It's a good reminder. Remember, there is never enough time to do everything you want to, so start now. I think that's good advice for all of us, right? We celebrate Diane. Okay. Lauren was a question mark. She's not here. She was a bus driver for us, started in 2002, so 20 years. She drove students with special needs. We remind Lauren to never again will you have to face another pre-trip on a cold Monday morning in the dark. Enjoy that. Remember, believing in your dreams is the only way to reach the destination. Congratulations to Lauren. Are you getting a kick out of these pictures, by the way? So these are like their ID badges, and I'm loving it. So like I think some of it's like, hey, this is great, and some is like, wait, who is that? And I'm super excited because Margaret's here from our transportation department tonight. So we're celebrating Margaret. She has, see that? She gets the award for the most people. The RSVP was the most for Margaret. So thank you, peeps. Margaret's had a long career in South Brunswick, and she's finishing it up as a para for transportation. And we remind Margaret to always enjoy the mornings where you don't need to get up early and come to work. Never forget that you made an impact on all the children of this district. We celebrate you. Congratulations. Okay, Brooks Crossing, my Brooks Crossing folks. Brooks Crossing and Deans, if you want to, our retirees tonight, come on up. And Jamie Macarone, principal. Okay, so not in attendance tonight, but we want to celebrate Kathy Brady. She was a nurse for Deans Elementary. All 20 years she was at Deans with those little guys. And we remind her to never run a MERT drill ever again. And to remember the laughs, the accidents, and the can you believe this stories. I want to know those. We celebrate Kathy. Congratulations. We also honor tonight Susan Dreesen. She is an ELL teacher. She started in 1997, and she was one of only 3 in the district. And really, she led the way for ELL in our district. Susan, we remind you to always look forward proudly, knowing that your legacy survives in South Brunswick. Remember that you were the first step to many students' success in school and in their life. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm going to give you a hug.
Yeah, thank you.
And Victoria was my student.
Okay, so next up is Lemuel Harris Jr. He was a custodian in our district since 2005 and said in his testimonial, I love this, if you know Lem, you know his big smile. And we remind Lem tonight to never forget your Brooks Crossing family and to remember to take care of yourself. He will be missed. Congratulations to Lemuel. And here tonight with us to celebrate is Cindy Patritz Brotman. She's a counselor in our district, and she's been in different elementary schools. She's one of our elementary counselors. Most recently, she's been spending the past few years at the Brooks Crossing and Dean's campus. And we celebrate Cindy tonight, and we remind her to remember see, I had to say this one again, that you'll never believe this stories and laugh. So Brooks Crossing had some good stories, I think. And to enjoy the time with your family and traveling wherever you want, whenever you want. Sounds nice. Congratulations. Next up to the podium, I'm looking at Stacey Todd, we're good. Okay. Can I have, and Constable, we're good. I'm going to just share this slide. These folks couldn't be here tonight, but I want to honor Anita Burke. She was an occupational therapy assistant. She was in multiple schools, but BA for a large part of each week for the past several years. We remind her to always be proud of your perseverance in helping your special education students achieving their goals. And we remind her to remember to take time to nurture yourself. Congratulations to Anita. Constable School, we honor Teresa Bongiovanni. She is a paraprofessional in our district. All her years were at Constable School, and we remind her to never forget the students you have nurtured and supported along the way, and to remember that Constable will always be your home and to be sure to visit. We congratulate Teresa. Can my Greenbrook friends, retirees, come on up? Great. We have two to celebrate tonight. One is here. I'm going to first talk about Carol, who couldn't make it tonight. She was a paraprofessional in the district since 1994, so 28 years. She was a special education para, both in the preschool and SLLD programs. And we remind her to always remember that your positivity and smile were contagious, and to remember the significant impact that you've had over the years. Congratulations to Carol. We honor Susan. She's Susan Gurney, paraprofessional since 1996. She works with our students with special needs, and most recently, she's in the 4th and 5th grade MD classes at Greenbrook Elementary. And we remind Susan to never forget the impact you had on all your classroom communities you worked with, and to enjoy spending time with your grandchildren. Congratulations. Victoria, you're seeing all your old principals, huh? People you know. Yeah. Yeah. Indian Fields, we're celebrating you next. Come on up. I'm going to ask Ray to kind of come over. Victoria will help get the gifts. And Peter Ratine, principal of Indian Fields. Okay. See those pictures. We're first celebrating Laura Keener. She started in a school, Monmouth Junction, started her career there, and she kind of got to go full circle and spent the last 8 years in the front office of Indian Fields. We celebrate Laura tonight, and we remind her to always say yes to going away and take a camping trip, as you now have been granted unlimited vacation days. Do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that deserves a clap. We also say to enjoy more time with your wonderful family and all the smiles and memories they will bring. Congratulations, Laura. That's Mr. Keener, if you don't know. We also are here to celebrate Terry Wells. She started in 1990. It's a long time, Terry. And what's pretty cool, she even student taught here in the district. She started at Brunswick Acres School and then came over in her third year of teaching to Indian Fields and has been there all that time. Our wishes to you are to always know that you're an educator true and true. You inspire, you teach, and you strengthen all those around you. Remember the many students you have inspired to become the next generation of leaders. Congratulations, Terry. Okay. All right, so next, thank you guys. Crossroads North, nobody's, okay. So we're going to honor next Crossroads North. I didn't know if one might be here tonight, but we do have 3 retirees to celebrate from Crossroads North. First up is Michelle Ferreira. Yeah, thank you. 1995 was her start date, more than 26 years with our district, and all of them at North. Never forget the impact you've had on us and enjoy the time you have to spend with the people you love best. We congratulate Michelle. We also celebrate Gloria Heyer. She's been, again, a lifelong at Crossroads North. She was support in the library, and then she became a special education para. We remind her to always share her sense of humor and to never stop laughing and to remember what you did for children. We thank Gloria and congratulate her. Finally, at Crossroads North, we also celebrate Barb Snepar, nurse in the district. She's been in the district since 1999 and her entire career at North. North, you keep your people. She's a certified school nurse there. Our bucket wishes for Barb is to always reach out to your former nurse department colleagues for friendship, laughter, and support. And to enjoy your family, grandchildren, and many vacations and happy times ahead. Congratulations to Barb. And last but definitely not least is the high school. So our honorees that are here tonight, come on down. Peter Varela, the building principal, is also here. We're going to start, hi ladies, we're going to start by honoring some of our teachers that weren't able to be here tonight but are retiring. Mike Andrushevitz, he's known really for the South Brunswick automotive tech program. He did the auto shop and it's a lost art, and it was an institution here and he helped a lot of kids. He's been doing it a long time, and we encourage him to never forget the positive impact that he had on his students, who are all now successful because of his influence. To enjoy his family and friends and take some time to relax. Congratulations to Mike Andrushevitz. I think another institution, Masut Chucker, we honor him tonight. He is a math teacher in our district. And he's part of the math department and really teaches some of those highest levels of math. Kids, it's a rite of passage to be in his class. Our wishes for him is to always take pride in the impact you made on your students and the programming at SBHS. Enjoy the time to travel and take in the nature around you. We celebrate Masut. Congratulations. Next up is Greg Ferraro. He is a science teacher, specifically chemistry at the high school. He's been with us since 2004, and our wishes for Greg to never forget the students that visited your classroom, to see you, and pork chop. What is this pork chop that we speak of? It sounds like an inside joke. It's a rabbit? It's a rabbit. All right, see, if you know, you know. I didn't know. Enjoy the gift of time to travel, read, and binge Netflix. Congratulations to Greg. Did Pork Chop retire too? Yeah, I hope so. I hope, right? We also honor Patrice Gorman. She's social studies teacher in the district and longtime department chair for the program. Our bucket wishes for Patrice, again, long time since 1997, to never doubt the positive impact you had on students and to remember all the wonderful friends and colleagues you've made at SBHS. We honor Patrice and congratulations. Another teacher that we want to honor tonight is Judy Lebovich. She's also a science teacher. I see Anna over there, I think. We have a lot of filling to do in the math and science department. She is a biology teacher, and we have well wishes for her as well. Never underestimate the positive impact you've had on your students, both academically and emotionally. Enjoy your new house in the Poconos, and don't forget to invite the Wims. So congratulations to Judy. We also honor tonight Mary Luceri. She's a paraprofessional and she works in the life skills program at the high school. It's an amazing opportunity to be with some of the kindest kids that we have in our building. We remind Mary to never forget the impact she made on all the staff and students in our life skills program, and to remember to take time for you and enjoy spending time with your family and traveling to Florida. Congratulations to Mary. All right, you ready, guys? So next up, we have two amazing administrators standing up here to honor tonight. And first up, our athletic director for forever and an institution, Elaine McGrath. She's a champion for kids, a leader in the field, and dedicated her career to Viking athletics. Tonight, we remind Elaine to remember the legacy you created and upheld at SBHS and the impact you had on our athletic programs and the student athletes. Enjoy drinking your favorite adult beverage, vacationing in the Keys, watching Dummets, and spending time with Jamie and your family. Congratulations, Elaine. Congratulations. It's a sad day having these two up here. So next we honor, maybe for you. Next we honor Susanna Nikachek. She's been in our midst for almost 20 years, and she's like the heart of the high school. The kind words that people say about her and how much she cares about her students and staff members alike. She remembers the small things. She's the go-to person for all things counseling at the high school and just about anything. I think this year you are the AP for the graduating class, right? Mm-hmm.
I'm graduating with them.
You are, yes. Yep. We remind Susanna to remember all the faculty, staff, students, and families that you helped and how you changed their lives, and to enjoy waking up with your husband each day and focusing on your children, grandchildren, family, and friends. Congratulations, Susanna. So we went alphabetical order. I probably should have rearranged that. But we have one last honoree to recognize tonight. Mary Frances Ryan Howley couldn't be with us tonight, but she's a Spanish teacher in the district at the high school level, and we remind her to never forget your shared love of Spanish and culture with your students, and to enjoy your new memories to come with family and with friends. We honor Mary and wish her all the best. So it's this part of the tradition that we take a moment to talk to middle schoolers and ask them what they think retirement is. And so we got some good insight from our middle school kids, letting you all know what it means to retire. And again, we thank the teachers, students at Crossroads Middle Schools, both schools, and Sue Jane, the language arts supervisor. So sit back. My board members, are you okay there? It's about 3 minutes. We're going to take it and wrap it up. We just want to share the book selections, your book dedications. You can see up on the screen many beautiful covers for our Brooks Crossing and Dean's retirees. My Heart by Corinna Lucan is chosen for your book dedication. Brunswick Acres, Forest. Constable is What the Road Said by Cleo Wade. For Greenbrook retirees tonight, Every Family is Different. For Indian Fields and Dayton Elementary Schools, Sam, the Most Scaredy Cat Kid in the Whole World. That's by Mo Willems. For Monmouth Junction, this is for Mary Beth Edmonds, Principal Tate is Running Late. We thought that was clever. For our retirees at Crossroads North Middle School, life skills for teens, how to cook, clean, manage money, perform first aid, etc. So it's a very useful book. And for the high school, and there were some books picked there for our high school retirees, Lifting Every Voice, My Journey from Segregated Roanoke to the Corridors of Power. For our buildings and ground, for our transportation, the book will live at the high school, and how the world really works, the science behind how we got here and where we're going. And for our district retirees at the board office and our district teachers, All That She Carried, The Journey of Ashley Sack, A Black Family Keepsake. So these books are dedicated in your name in our libraries in our district, and this legacy will live on, and your memory will be there as well. I just summarize by sharing this quote from the famous poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said. We all know this quote, right? People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Retirees, thank you for making your students, families, and colleagues feel your commitment and love that you've given to South Brunswick all your years here. We thank you, and once again, we congratulate our retirees tonight. That concludes our program, and I turn it back over to you, Ms. Mehta.
Thank you. On behalf of the board, I can honestly say that each one of us, we thank you sincerely for everything that you've done for the students, for our district. You make us incredibly proud, and I know that we will all miss you very, very much. I thank you, and I wish you every success in your retirement, and we will truly, truly miss you. Mr. Feder is there at the back, and I think he wants to say something. Mr. Feder? Okay, I understand. I understand. So you're very welcome to stay for the rest of the board meeting. I can see you packing up, so okay. I've got my answer here.
I'd just like to note, once again, everybody takes off right in the middle of our agenda review, all of the good stuff.
Thank you, everyone. Moving on to the next part of the agenda, and that is the first opportunity for public comment on agenda items only. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. Complete copies of the rules that govern this portion of the meeting are available to the public at the back of the room, or you can obtain an advance copy by contacting the board office during regular business hours. We reserve the right to limit each speaker to no more than 3 minutes. It is our plan to listen to each member of the public. We will note all questions and comments made. Once all questions and comments from all members of the public are made, the Board of Education will respond, if necessary, to questions or comments in the most timely and efficient manner available. Please consider not repeating comments and questions made by other members of the public. I ask that you state your name, place of residence, or your group affiliation. Mr. Pawlowski, do we have any registered speakers?
We do not have any registered speakers tonight.
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to speak on agenda items only? Seeing none, moving on to the next part of the agenda, and that is the consent agenda review and the walkthrough. So over to you, Mr. Pawlowski.
This agenda is packed with business. So we have almost 75 motions. The majority of them deal with the ability of the board to do business with its vendors, with contracts, with transportation. The first 12 motions deal with doing board business in the business office, accounts, writing off accounts receivables, tax levy payment schedules, the bill list, pretty much the everydays of what we do in the business office from year to year at the end of the year. Motions all the way up through 12030. I mean, I put all this in the board update, but the majority of the rest of the motions deal with approving professional services all the way up through 140. In 140s, we get into approving positions that different people in the district have to own as per 18A in state statute. We have official newspapers. We have appointment of custodian of records, official signatories, 504 officers, safety specialists. All of those appointments are monitored and required by the state, Department of Ed and the state of New Jersey. We get into the next stuff up is we're approving transportation routes, increases not to exceed authorizations. This motion allows us to increase authorization or not to exceed amounts after or towards the end of the year when we use one of our vendors, specifically in our special education department. We may use a service more towards the middle or end of the year than we planned. 157 allows us to increase the not to exceed. We do have an emergency repair for a leak at Brunswick Acres School. We removed some solar panels and had a roof that was compromised, severely compromised. I immediately contacted, and Brian Redfield and I immediately contacted our roofing contractor. They came out and fixed things prior to us cutting a purchase order. So therefore, the fact that we did that work prior to a purchase order being cut requires it to be designated as an emergency repair, and therefore it needs board approval. We have a small change order, and we are disposing of some district property. These are more, the 162s and the 160s are more of the daily business that we do. We're adopting some policies tonight. We do have a policy 5200 that's on our agenda for old business. We have to determine the number of consecutive days that a student can be absent when they're moving on a trip before we disenroll them. But we'll have that discussion during old business. And then we have our travel and our student travel, or student field trips. And from there, employment contracts for your assistant superintendents and business administrator. It's a lot. I hope everybody looked through it. I did do a pretty extensive update this month, or excuse me, for this meeting. So if there's any questions, we'll take questions, but let's refrain from talking about different motions, and it's question time. If there's any questions with regards to the consent agenda, I can answer some.
Any questions on the consent agenda to my right, Mrs. Rogers?
No, just a point of clarification, since the chair is not here, Mr. Scoletti of Facilities, just wanted to make the point that the committee did discuss the roofing issue, and we did approve it in committee.
Thank you, Mrs. Rogers. Any questions about the consent agenda specifically, or to my right? Seeing none. To my left? Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Plowski, for the walkthrough. Moving on to old business, as Mr. Plowski said, and that's specifically policy number 5200, it's the attendance policy. I had shared that with the board some days back. So any questions about the attendance policy? As Mr. Plowski was saying, you know, we need to discuss about consecutive days and the process of disenrolling and re-enrolling students. To my right, carry on, Mr. Plowski.
Just to be clear, for this policy, the highlighted paragraph, did everybody receive the highlighted or the paragraph in the policy? Yes. So we're just trying to, I just need to know the number of days. What we'll do is, after we determine the number of days, we'll make the motion, we'll second it, we'll all say okay, and then that number will go into our policy as per the policy that's approved tonight in the consent agenda, just so everybody's clear on that process.
Can I just add, I want to make sure everyone understands what's being addressed at this point. Again, so this is a policy, complete change. This is not a mandated policy. This would allow well, would ensure that whatever the number of days selected by the board is, that would mean if a child is going to be out of school for a non-medical type reason, they would be disenrolled after those number of days. So again, if someone, let's say that I was a parent here and I was going to take my child to Disney World for a month's vacation, or I was going to go to Spain for a month's vacation, or anything I was going to do that took my child out of school for more than the designated days, my child would be disenrolled, not marked absent. They would not be enrolled in the South Brunswick school system. Upon their return, they would re-enroll. Now that process I don't expect to be, a crazy process, but that's what it would be. If you remember, the rationale was, right now, if a family does this and takes their child out of school, that chronic absenteeism kicks in after 18 days, regardless of reason, and we will just keep getting more of those as people are out. So what you're being asked to do is consider this particular policy, which does not exist now. There's no removal, but this would change that. And parents would be told that when they put in for vacation requests or other such reasons, other than medical.
Mr. Keener.
Thank you, Mr. Feder. I would like to recommend to the board that we use the number of 10 days to be counting towards having to withdraw. 10 days seems to be the figure that a lot of other school districts use. We're only in school 180 days, so 10 days a student being away is a lot of impact on their education. I think 10 days would be the regular.
So if I'm hearing Mr. Keener correct, we have a motion on the floor for 10 days for the policy. Do I have a second?
A second.
Discussion.
1 second. Mr. Nathanson.
Yeah, first of all, Mr. Feder, does the administration have a recommendation on the term?
We recommended 10.
Okay.
Mrs.
And Kim can answer it too. As far as, does that work for employees also, or that's something different? This is just students, correct?
Yeah, well, employees aren't enrolled in the district.
Right.
They work for the district.
So it's just students.
Solely students.
So is 10 days something that affects us now?
Yeah, so 10 days is 10 consecutive days. It's not 10 days, like in the course of a year. It's I'm going to be taking my child out of school exceeding 10 days, okay? Then we're going to disenroll your child. When you come back, you'll re-enroll. If it's a really long time, there's no guarantees of what, your placement even would be at that point. But a 10-day, 12-day, 15-day, you can manage with usually putting a child right back where they were without too much incident of any kind, other than you're not getting marked absent all those days.
What I'm getting, this is not something that there's going to be 10 people out 10 days kind of thing, and put a burden on the administration while they're trying to disenroll and enroll, right? This doesn't happen that frequently. Is that what?
No, we don't see it as a burden on administration.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Raj. 1 second.
I think that it puts more of a burden on our teachers when students are absent more than 10 days, because now they've got to try to single out, if a student's out for 2 or 3 weeks, they got to try to catch that student up. And it puts a lot of stress and burden on our teaching staff because they're responsible for the outcome of that student at the end of the year.
Thank you. Dr. Raj?
This refers to 10 working days, or
It's 10 school days.
10 school days. 10 school days is effectively 2 weeks.
The only days that matter are school days.
Okay.
So if they took 6 days before a long break, it's 6 days.
It doesn't. Okay.
I think I understand.
Okay.
Mrs. Rogers?
Sorry, Mr. Feder, what type of communication will be going out to the parents to clearly understand this new policy?
An update of the policy with an explanation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Feder, can I just ask, right, is this, is this something that is very problematic? And if so, how wide scale is it that parents are taking the students out?
So how often is it problematic? The problem results in the district getting told that we have chronic absenteeism.
Right.
The reality is, depending on the reason someone's out, some would say we dissuade, some would say that's good.
Right.
So you could fall on the side of saying that if my home country, where I'm from, and my students have never, and my children have never even seen where I'm from,
Yeah.
and I value the idea of taking them for an extended period of time to that country, wherever that country is, some might say, well, they're missing school. Some might say, well, that's really valuable.
Right.
So this isn't an argument of problem, it's a reality of the way we record and are told by the state to record information. So I'm not comfortable saying it's a problem as much as it is we record that students are absent, good or bad reason they're absent. So it's not really a dissuasion as it is we don't want to keep having to have the numbers go up when a child is not here for an extended period of time. And because the rules of, I think I shared this last time, chronic absenteeism is generally associated with a negative outcome for a child. However, depending on the reason a child is out, probably has no bearing on a child's outcomes. So really for us, we don't want the district to be dinged with a number that's really not representative of why that law even exists.
And so, I did hear you say that it's not really, it might affect them if they're out for a long, long period in terms of their same classes and everything. That remains to be seen, but you don't foresee any problem in them when they re-enroll to get the same placements or the classes that they were in if it was for a shorter period of time. Is that correct?
Generally speaking, a 10-day absence would not result in a child losing placement.
Right.
But once you start getting very long, all I can say is you never know.
Okay, and last question. So how, when they disenroll and they re-enroll, how is that marked in their record in terms of their absences?
That's the number of days possible present over the number of days present. If the days are, am I saying it right, Suzanne? If they're not here, they're not enrolled, there's no possible day of being present if you're not enrolled. So if the school year is 180 days and you have disenrolled your child for 20, your possible present days is 160. If you were absent 5 of the 160, it would be you were here for 155 out of 160 days, not 155 out of 180 days.
Got it. So no real negative impact, only the days that they were absent would be counted, right?
When we use terms like negative impact, I would just say
wouldn't say chronic
that
absence.
someone could interpret that not being in school has a negative impact.
I understand that.
So the idea of being out longer could have a negative impact because you're not learning.
No, but
So
I mean,
I'm not
as it stands on their, on their records or transcript, apart from, I'm hearing that, just the number of days that they were absent is recorded. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Krishna.
Mr. Feder, I just wanted to check, is there any financial impact? So, for example, if there are like 20 kids out in the whole year at different 10 days, is that going to impact financially the district?
So, interesting question. It's called ADE, correct? ADE, it's the average daily, ADA, the average daily attendance. So the average daily attendance is how many days were students here out of how many days they could be here. So the more and more kids are absent, your ADA goes down, right? If the ADA takes off 20 from both sides, it's a wash, right? So you do put in the aggregate of 8,300 kids, if 1,000 kids are absent 20 days, right, on the books as absent, your ADA, your average daily attendance will be lower. So, Will that have an impact? I don't think the numbers go high enough to reach that as an impact. I can tell you, in a smaller district, ADA was a big deal when it affected your sending and receiving monies. We are too big for the number of times this happens that I think the ADA would be affected to ever be used against us financially.
So is there a threshold that we have in our calculation somewhere? Means it won't affect it, but still.
Let me, Dave, jump in.
Yeah, your state aid is based on the past 3-year average of your student attendance.
Of ADA,
Of 80.
average daily attendance.
Got it.
So the more we can limit absenteeism, the better for the district ultimately. So that's a great question, Roger.
Mrs. Rogers?
I'm
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm just a question. Is it part of CUSAC?
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Average daily attendance, not part of it.
Used to be on our board.
No, it's, well, I'm looking at Suzanne, if it's part of our reporting of our, like, school performance data, then it is. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So then it would be.
Thank you.
Actually, Mr. Krishna, you brought up a good point, and I'm just wondering how it impacts us as a sending, sending district to parochial schools, that we provide funding, a percentage of funding. Is there anything that impacts us financially with that?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Copley?
Can you explain the amount of time that it would take for a parent to re-enroll the child once they come back?
Yeah. Suzanne's here. Suzanne, to re-enroll, I'm not seeing us the whole. Okay. And that would be back on the buses, and so if they know they're coming back at a certain time, just schedule it accordingly.
So for the public, that answer was 3 days as the student get back in.
Right, and we'll articulate that in our communication as well, right?
We'll be able to put down the full impact
Okay.
into that.
All right,
Thank you.
Any other questions to my right? To my left? No, seeing none. That ends this discussion. But the motion on the table, the second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Any nays? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Carried. So we will add 10 consecutive days to policy 5200 in the attendance when we vote on the consent agenda this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Plowski. Moving on to new business. There is no new business at this time. And now to the approval of the consent agenda, June 21st, today's consent agenda. Roll call.
I need a motion and a
A
second.
motion, please, for the consent agenda. Mr. Nathanson, and seconded by Dr. Raj. Any nays?
No. Roll call.
Roll call, Mr. Plowski, please.
Mrs. Deepa Karthik?
Yes.
Mr. Raja Krishna?
Yes.
Mr. Ray Keener?
Yes.
Mr. Mike Mitchell?
Yes.
Dr. Smith Raj? Yes. Mrs. Lisa Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Barry Nathanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Joyce Mehta?
Yes, with abstaining on 1.17, please, Mr. Plowski.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Moving on to board committee and liaison reports to my right. Board committee liaison reports, Mrs. Rogers.
Just very quickly, curriculum committee is in the midst of scheduling for July and August. No update, though, from the past. So if you haven't submitted the dates for, potential dates, for the dates for July and August, please submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Board committee, yes, Mr. Keener.
Yes. The Shared Services Committee did meet yesterday evening at around 6 p.m. with members of the township to go over various items. We're looking at several different things as far as our buildings and our facilities and some possible agreements coming up in the future, but nothing has been put in stone at this point.
Thank you. Any others to my right? Seeing none. To my left? Seeing none. Now, the second opportunity for public comment. This will be on any item. Mr. Pulowski, do we have any registered speakers?
We have none.
Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to speak? Please, I ask you to state your name, your place of residence, or your group affiliation.
My name is Julie Ferrara. I live in Kendall Park. I'm a substitute teacher in South Brunswick schools for 28 years. I just want to say beforehand that I was very proud and happy to be part of South Brunswick tonight. This was a really special night to be part of and experience. So many friends I've worked with who are retiring just gave me a good feel. Madam President, board members, and Mr. Fetter, I come to you tonight again to ask for more clarification and transparency concerning the new sex education guidelines that are due to go into effect this fall. As we get ready to close out the 2021 school year, we find ourselves at a crossroads. Many towns in New Jersey are grappling with these new standards and how to implement them. Parents all over the state are rejecting these standards as they view them as interfering with the proper formation of their child's sexual development. I'm speaking. Could you be respectful? Thank you.
You may continue. You have 2 minutes left.
Yeah, could you be respectful?
That's fine. I'm respectful.
Parents all over the state are rejecting these standards as they view them as interfering with proper formation of their child's sexual development. There is even a town board of education in Garwood, New Jersey, that have rejected these standards and are not requiring them to be taught in their schools. How is it that we are closing out this year without any information on what will be taught next year in South Brunswick in regards to this health curriculum? We, the students, staff, and parents, need to know what will be taught. I know as a substitute teacher, I would be very uncomfortable with teaching fifth graders about masturbation. Yet this is part of the new guidelines. I am with fifth graders all the time, and it seems like a topic that is too sensitive. Will the boys be separated from the girls? Will there be videos, which I believe are part of the curriculum materials available to teachers? It seems non-virtuous to teach these young kids these kinds of instructions when they much prefer the challenges of the mind and are less concerned about the body. Therefore, I'm requesting that the board give specific information to parents in letter form about what exactly will be taught in this new curriculum, health curriculum. We should also immediately make these guidelines available on the South Brunswick Schools site. In these troublesome times, more information is needed to determine if parents may want to dialogue with the superintendent and district staff concerning their child's sex education. I would hope the new director of curriculum will make this a priority when he or she comes into their position. We owe it to our kids and to our parents to keep them well informed about their child's education here in South Brunswick. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you so much.
3 minutes.
Moving on.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Can I have a motion, please, Mr. Mitchell, and seconded by Dr. Raj? Any nays, abstention, discussion? No. Motion carries. Motion carries. Actually, back into executive. Yes. So can I have a motion, please, to move into...
You guys adjourn the meeting at 8:38. You're not adjourning the meeting. You're moving into executive
session
to discuss CSA.
Correct.
So-
Move to executive.
Second by Mrs. Rogers.
So let's strike the motion to
For
adjourn.
adjourn and move-
Call for a motion
I
to
strike the
move in.
motion to adjourn.
Okay, let's
Thank you, Mrs.
move
Rogers.
into motion for executive.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
Seconded by Mr. Nathanson. Any nays? Any abstentions? Any discussions? Motion carries. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Township of South Brunswick hereby moves into executive session in accordance with the Sunshine Law, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 and JSA 10.4 through 6 to 10.421 to discuss the following: CSA evaluation review. Be it further resolved that the discussion conducted in executive session can be disclosed to the public at such time as the matters have been resolved. Formal action may be taken at the meeting. Thank you. Good night, South Brunswick.